Our guy Nez is back from the Magic Kingdom. See if he could still hang in the Deposit Kingdom. I was quite proud of that one. I'm not gonna lie, I had to use it twice. Yeah, great day for sports. We got US Open on right now. If you are into the putt and drive contest, then there is also 3 daytime diamond games going down as we speak. And then, of course, we're just gonna hop in the football streets as well there. So we'll talk MLB first, and then we'll talk maybe a little bit of the NBA stuff from last night, and then we'll jump in. I think we got to do Superflex, brand new contest. It feels evergreen, man. It feels like oh, Nez looks disappointed. Nez, what happened?
I was about to sneeze, and I was trying to do it while I was still in the green room, and I couldn't get it out. So now I'm just like, I was teased. There's nothing worse than like thinking you got it, because it would have been a good one. Thinking you got a good sneeze coming on, and then just nothing, just absolutely nothing. So I got blue blood on there.
Disappointed in me.
Never.
Yeah, yeah, I think we'll do Superflex. The pug contest, that 3 max $12 price point just dropped. If we don't do it today, we'll probably never have a chance. It feels evergreen at this point to just be like, hey, yeah, Underdog, new contest today. Like, it's wild, man. It's awesome to see just the growth of this game. We say it ad nauseum, but yeah, I want to make you squirm a little bit by seeing how far we can push some quarterbacks out here.
Yeah, well, now that these ADPs are updated, it's going to be even harder than it was the first time. The first time was that we did it before ADP was set. That was the time. So you were definitely correct in pushing the envelope there. We might be getting ready to learn, Sam Howell, Drew Lock, QB 2 and 3 if you do it this time. So
all right,
just warning you. When you up the price from 5 to 12, people get even more frothy for their QBs. They don't want to waste their $12, man. They want to make sure that they have their 3 QBs before they have their RB1 and wide receiver 1.
I respect it. Everyone in the chat here, I see all the GMs. Good shouts here. Cheese. I love Corey always drops the cheese GM every single time. Everyone's asking the big questions here, man. How was the Magic Kingdom? Did you get to check out Tron? What did you get to do? Did you have any fun whatsoever in the happiest place on earth?
No, it was fun, man. It was fun. It was their hottest June week on record, I believe. Stupid hot. Just disgustingly hot. It was a fun time. We were there because my wife's job is a content creator, so they invited us down there because they were debuting for us their new Tiana ride, which Tiana is from Princess and the Frog. They had a lot of creators down there, a ton of families. So this is like the second time that they've had us down there. The first time it was like a way more intimate setting. It was like, here's like a small group of people and we want to really like cater this experience to you. This time it was like, hey, we have these things for you to show up at, and the rest of the time you can just be at the park and post for us and whatnot. So that was fun. And what was really fun is this time we got to take her 2 younger siblings. They've never been to Disney, so that was really cool. We got to like give them a good Disney experience. So I really enjoyed that. I did ride Tron. I didn't get to ride Tron the first time. It wasn't open. That was really fun. Tron was crazy fun. I'll have to show you maybe next show or something. It's just like a small like 5-second clip. Like they send you and you're like, you have like a Disney app. They sent us like a 5-second like slow-mo of us like taking off, because like the takeoff on Tron is like super fast. That's like, it's like calling card, and you're on this like bike thing.
Okay,
and, dude, like my neck like hurt afterwards, because like you're on like a crotch rocket and you got your neck up. I'm like, God, that's a lot of torque on the old neck, like I want to look up and see where I'm going, so maybe next time just keep my head down. But it was awesome. It was fun. It was fun. I'm excited to one day take a child there of my own.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I mean, well, that's kind of cool that you got to go. I guess, what are they to you? Siblings of your
in-law?
I guess you just call them in-laws. Yeah, I guess.
They're little siblings
or whatever.
Yeah, they're 21 and 16. So
little sister-in-law.
Yeah, little brother, little sister-in-law.
Yeah, no, that's cool that you got to take them, especially if they've never been to Disney before, because first time Disney experience, especially at that like age, like 16-ish, like sweet spot. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, they hooked us up too, because like for like certain parks we would get like 2 lightning passes a day, which just lets you essentially like cut. It's like a very fast line. You get to cut the line. So like they were spoiled. Like it was like, you want to do Guardians? Like, okay, cool. Like Lightning Pass, like we're in there. Like, you want to do Star Wars? It's like a 2-hour ride. Like Lightning Pass, like we're in there. So they were spoiled, and they're already like, before we even left, they're like, I can't wait to come back. Like when we go back, we gotta do this. We're like, relax. Yeah, we'll see if
I haven't
they gotta invite us back.
I haven't been to Disney in a minute. It's probably been almost 8-10 years, something like that, since I was at like California Adventure and like
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So I mean, I haven't been to the Orlando one in 20 years. We went as kids, but never since then. People asking if the Guardians one, did you get to ride the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff?
Yeah, that one is at Epcot. Super fun. That's a really cool ride. Yeah, that was like one of the first things that we did. And like her sister is like hasn't really like gone on like roller coasters, period, let alone like had a Disney experience. She was like geeking out. She was having so much fun. She was loving it. So I really like to give to like, you know, give people those experiences and show them a good time. So that was a lot of fun. Guardians is dope. They do a good job there, I will say. Like Disney definitely, like, even as an adult, like I'm definitely not a Disney adult, but like they do a really good job with their experiences and their rides, I will say.
Yeah, Disney adults are like the best ball bros of Disney. Like they're just on a whole nother level. Like we're what we are to Disney is like home league guys who do one draft a year. The best ball bros of Disney are Disney adults, and that's yeah, completely different.
That is the comp guy.
Comp guy's back, baby. Last question here. Corey's asking, do they actually play like the Daft Punk soundtrack and stuff when you're on the Tron ride?
I don't know that it was Daft Punk. I wouldn't know it to recognize it, but it was good. Like it definitely was like music that fit the theme. For sure. Like they definitely go all out on that front.
Sweet, man. Pate is just roasting me in the chat right now, asking what the Disney of Canada is. I'm not sure there is one. You just go to the Hockey Hall of Fame, bud. That's what it is.
Ride the Zamboni.
Yeah. I don't know. There's like Six Flags and like stuff like that, but nobody makes like a trip out of it in Canada to like go to that. Like if we go to Disney, we just go south, right? Like we just go to Disney, but there isn't like a equivalent. He's saying the West Edmonton Mall. That's hilarious. West Edmonton Mall is like, you know, like 4 stories high and like has like, you know, it's like shopping, but then there's like amusement parks and a roller coaster within the mall and like stuff like that. So it's kind of cool, but it's kind of like old and stuff. But there's also an ice rink right in the middle. So when you were a kid, it was like the nastiest tournament to like make a team to be invited to was called the Brick Tournament. And like, I don't know, do you have brick furniture stores? It'd kind of be like, you guys have like Ashley furniture, right? Like warehouse furniture.
Ashley's the one that took us to the Pitbull concert.
There you go. So it'd be the equivalent of that in Canada, but it's called like the Brick or whatever. And it's just like that. And they would sponsor this tournament every single year for like all the best hockey players who were like ages like 10 through 12 or something like that. And you would play right in the middle of the mall and people would just like hang over the tiers of the mall watching you, like watching down. Yeah, it was really cool. I was never good enough to get invited though.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. I didn't know this. Sags from Okanagan. There we go. Okanagan just hop, skip, and a jump. 4 hours of the most beautiful driving you could ever do in your life to get to Okanagan. Yeah, it's
future road trip,
man. Yeah, man. If you ever come out here, I'll take you up to Kelowna and stuff like that. And it's just, man, you'll be blown away by the drive in and of itself. But yeah, some of the best golf and wineries around. Nez, did you play Daytime Diamond?
I did. This is my first time actually maxing the 20 max Daytime Diamond. So I put in some work and got some.
What'd you get on?
A ton of Mitch Keller. Really like Mitch Keller. You know, obviously as much Judge as possible, because I think, didn't you mention his pick'em today for fantasy points was like out of this world?
Yesterday it was 13 points. It was crazy.
Shit, man.
Yeah. And they scored 11 runs and everybody went off and he only put up 5, but that's neither here nor there.
So yeah, I did that. I did a lot of Mitch Keller. It was him or Lance Lynn. I thought were like pretty obviously like the best plays after that Pirates lineup came out, which like don't even get me started on that Pirates lineup, like
It was bad.
so bad. It was horrible. Like, this is not the time nor the place to be putting out your C lineup right now. I mean, just like just what are you doing? And then a lot of Royals. Shout out to the Royals. Good hitting weather over there. Some decent righties against Nestor Cortez. And then some Brave stuff. So a little bit all over the board. The Washington and Detroit game was interesting, but I thought that neither offenses were really good enough to have awesome games against those poor pitching matchups against Corbin and Mize, but they definitely kind of stuck out to me. I focused more on the Yankees, Royals, some Pirates, and then Braves today.
Yeah, you and I were kind of in lockstep there. I just played a shit ton of Braves. I thought the Braves were so mispriced, and I know that they've been one of the worst teams in baseball. Like, not even hyperbole, been like almost
Truly.
the worst, team in baseball in terms of like weighted on base and whatever since April 19th, April 20th, something like that. So the stretch has been awful for them, and especially like a park that doesn't play up right-handed power. But like, if everyone was going to the top of projections for lefty killers and right-handed bats in Vierling and Rogers and Canna, it's like, well, just give me the righty killers in almost as good a matchup with better hitting weather in the other game, and give me Ozuna and Albies and Riley over and over again. Did some Darno, did some Duvall, like, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of Judge and his ridiculous fantasy points total, since May 1st up to today, there's been approximately 30 plus games played. Second highest WRC plus is Juan Soto, 192. Then in third is Bryce Harper, 183. Corey Seager, 183. Jose Ramirez, 180. So our studs are starting to stud a little bit. Aaron Judge is in first with a 295 WRC crazy. Plus over the span of 38 games, dude.
Wow. Barry Bonds.
That is prime Bonds. That is prime Bonds. That's like not even a hyperbole. That is prime Bonds stuff, man. It is unbelievable what he is doing right now.
And to think I had the Jamer Candelario, Gleyber Torres, Bryce Miller, and Giancarlo Stanton lineup last night, and he put up 5 points in it. That should have taken down the contest last night. I am sorry, but
you've been having a pretty good month, man.
Oh, come on, it's baseball season. Come on, dog.
No, what do you expect?
We had a decent one yesterday. The daytime diamond, I thought I was going to get there too. I ended up finishing 5th, but yeah, anyways.
Nice.
Who cares about my teams? Let's talk about what we can do with today's teams. Yeah, actually, this is a funny one that Jewish McCaffrey is bringing up in the chat. Like, remember when we were concerned about the toe in spring training there? Like, what's the football equivalent of that right now?
I don't know that there's an equivalent right now.
Caring about Kyron's ankle or his foot.
Kyron's ankle, and then maybe like the generational wealth opportunity with Justin Jefferson, right? I mean, he's still super good. Like, if you want to in BBM, you can have 50% like Justin Jefferson.
That's a good shout. Maybe that is the equivalent. It's the Justin Jefferson opportunity relative to the Judge one. And we're like, he's fallen to 6 sometimes. We got to mix and match in here. Yeah, that's a good one. Good comp. All right, let's go ahead. Let's start with we'll start with baseball. Kind of do like rapid fire of like 20 minutes of this. All the good hitting weather was in the morning there. It was all this Royals game. This Baltimore game is super warm, and then the Detroit one was decent but not amazing. Oh shit, I don't even have the screen up. My bad. There we go. Yeah. So nothing crazy to talk about in terms of like this afternoon's games or this evening's games. Rather, that is like a huge circle your calendar stand out. I do think it's a pretty strong pitching slate for a 6-gamer, though we did just lose Luis Castillo in that matchup against the White Sox, who was probably my SP2 right now we're going to get Emerson Hancock. What was he? Georgia product?
Yep.
Georgia product hasn't fully lived up to his potential quite yet. Kind of like, right? Out player comp, old Dane Dunning. Strikeout rates kind of low,
Yeah.
induces soft contact. You're just hoping for like 6 and 4Ks or something like that.
Yep. Yeah. I'm not sure what his K total will or K projection will end up being when that comes out, but it'll probably be like you said, like 3.5, probably, favored toward the 4 mark there. We don't have updated, at least where I'm looking, updated odds on that game, but that total opened up at 6.5 when it was
Yeah.
Crochet versus Castillo. It was hard to even like gal brain yourself to anybody in this game with the K rates in Seattle and just the team being what it is in Chicago. Even with Hancock in this game, I don't think it like changes much other than like, yeah, you can more easily get to some of these White Sox bats, but I mean they're still in Seattle, so it's not like a huge opportunity just opened up because of this.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Paige saying he's traveling from Tacoma today. That's like 45 minutes, no traffic. It's not a big deal at all.
Okay.
Just like it's like just south. That's why like the big league club and the AAA club are so close. So it's the single A. Like Everett's like an hour 20 north of it too. So it's like not a big deal. And Julian, no, I did not have Hancock over that. It's Garrett Crochet SP1 by like a landslide with his 35% strikeout rate on the slate. Like he's way over Ryan in my opinion. And then yeah, and then it was Castillo for me next. But Emerson Hancock is not a 1-for-1 replacement there. No, Hancock will be like SP6 or something. Now, GMs, and welcome back from our guy GA, who, by the way, Nez, while you were away, gifted out after his big win 10 subs to the community.
No way.
So, yeah, that's our guy GA, the OG member.
God, man, that was so awesome to see him take. That was Friday night, and I was doing a stream with Dog Pound, and like in the middle of my Dog Pound stream, like I just like did a quick check, and I'm in first in both contests, so I'm like, my concentration is completely derailed, and then after it was over, I checked and saw GA climbing up, so that made it little sweeter because I'd lost. Yeah, I'd obviously lost hold of both of those.
Always better when you can give it to a member of the community. If you can't win, it's best served for a member of the community.
That's right.
All right, Nez. This is kind of like short slate getaway day in quotations between series. So I always just put that caveat out there to be mindful in terms of your lineup creation because there's probably going to be some rest days mixed in. The most obvious one in the world to me would be Will Smith. That one just feels like we talk about it every Wednesday and Thursday here where he's played multiple games in a row and they're on their last game of a series before the weekend. It just kind of feels like what they do. Anyways, this Rays Cubs game is not on the slate and thankful for my bankroll that it is not on the slate because just looking at the macro of this slate, Nez, I would be loading up on right-handed Rays. And it's just never gone well for me. But let's start Mets Marlins here. We were directionally accurate yesterday with our home run calls there because literally every single person on the Mets homered except for Pete Alonso. And Jake Berger had like an 11 pitch at bat where he was just seeing it so well, turned into 2 walks, and then he had a 112 mile per hour piss missile of a ground ball, or of a base hit rather. So it was kind of like, all right, directionally accurate. Let's turn the page over. Let's get it today.
Yeah, that was a really good pick 'em. I mean, 30x for those two big boys with the wind blowing out. That just made too much sense. So you do that every time.
Yeah. All right, let's rip here. Mets and Marlins here. Mets with one of the higher implied run totals on the slate. It's kind of like Twins, Mets, Dodgers, and D-backs as kind of like the standouts. And they're all basically identical. The Mets technically the highest, depending where you look, by like I have seen Dodgers, like SaberSim has Dodgers at like a flat 5 or a 5-1 this morning, I think. So they actually had a little bit of a boost there. Some other projection models have it differently, but everyone's kind of like in and around there. Mets obviously swung it real well yesterday. Lefty killers in Harrison Bader homering there, and JD Martinez has been going really well. Yeah, basically, and Severino's been going really well too. He's going to be a highly coveted trade deadline acquisition target, I think, for a contending team that needs a starting arm there. Anything to say, Mets and Marlins for you?
No, I think Mets are obviously a target. They've got a really solid lineup. We just need Pete to wake up a little bit there. But
Mm-hmm.
like Marte's having a decent season. JD Martinez is having a really solid season. This is a lineup that you're going to want to get to, I think. Obviously, Francisco Alvarez back from the IL, so maybe he can get going a little bit. These ADPs make them pretty easy to get to. Kind of surprised Alonso is the first one off the board, but I think the fact that him being the first off at 16, like these Mets pieces are pretty gettable. I don't know if it needs to be said, but like I'm not doing any 5-mans with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've really done a lot of 5-mans just in general lately. If I am on slotting, I'll stick to 4-1s.
Yeah, I talked about it on 2 of the slates while you were gone, how I was like very adamant that the way that these totals have been and the lack of like quality hitting environments and the decent spread of like okay pitching across the board on most of these slates, that I wasn't doing almost any 5-mans. I did 5-mans of the Mets yesterday, and that was probably the only 5-mans I'd done in a minute, because the chalk's just really hard to pair all together because the chalk has been so strong recently in Dodgers and Yankees because of the way the slates have been. And then the other thing was the contrarian 5-mans were like just too far fetched. Like we were dealing with like under 3 run totals and stuff. And it was like just being contrarian for contrarian's sake. You're better off just taking one-offs in those scenarios and hoping like you just nail the guy who goes deep, kind of thing.
Yep, exactly. So I think when it comes to building out these Mets, though, like I think 4-man stacks probably makes sense. Like getting to 4-man stacks of the 4 chalk teams today, I think is a viable part of a baseball portfolio on this smaller slate, where like if things break one of these 4 teams' ways, you're probably set up to at worst break even doing that.
Yep, I like your thought process. Bader may be at risk of sitting today after yesterday. Nimmo will be back in the lineup today. He did not play yesterday there, but those would probably be like the most important lineup notes. Francisco Alvarez is back, so this lineup is looking stronger than it was early in the season. There. Next one is Phillies Red Sox. Red Sox low-key, probably the second best hitting environment on the slate behind Dodger Stadium. But it's Tanner Houck versus Aaron Nola. So 2 strong pitchers on either side. But given the strength of the pitcher on either side, there's still 4.25 implied run totals on both sides here. Thoughts just on this matchup?
I mean, just because it's the weather and the park, you get this 8.5. These are 2 pretty damn good pitchers going up against one another. So it makes it pretty interesting. But I love when the Red Sox are in Fenway up against a good pitcher, because generally the field is like heavily discounts the matchup and doesn't bake in enough of the other park factors here. So Jarren Duran, I mean, John, there's not enough flowers in the world to be given for how early you were on Jarren Duran, man. I mean, this dude is going to end up being my highest drafted player in the 7th inning stretch.
For all the flowers you give me on Jarren Duran, you have to take them away for not liking Royce Lewis's profile. But in my
we don't have
defense,
to talk about that.
In my defense, well, I'm the first one to call myself straight, right? Like call myself out for any of this sort of shit. But the Royce Lewis one, we'll talk about it in a second. It was always a health, couldn't play defense and would have to move to third base, and was I kept calling him glorified Carlos Correa, and I don't even want Carlos Correa, is what I used to always say. So, but yes, the Jarren Duran one has aged well. 2 hitters from this game just in general. Schwarber is the greatest hitter. If you guys have been following Baseball is Dead, he is the greatest hitter in the history of June now in terms of home runs per plate appearance in the month of June. For what it's worth, he just slow starter and then ramps up in these summer months. And he averages, I think it's every 10.4 ABs now or something like that. He hits a homer, something 10.4, 10.2 ABs. He hits a home run. Anyways, yeah, he's been going super well. He had a 2 home run game in this series already. But outside of like Harper and Schwarber, all the ADPs are super palatable, and you get that negative leverage or reverse leverage off of the fact that Tanner Houck and Aaron Nola are going in every single draft. So it does feel like one of the comfier spots to get quote unquote contrarian. Next up is Twins and Athletics. Aforementioned Royce Lewis has been on fuego since coming back. I think it's 8 home runs in 14 games now this season, which is just absolutely insane. Joe Ryan gets a really nice matchup here against Oakland, but like we always say, with Oakland, they can get to you with the long ball. So if the sweeper does not sweep for Joe Ryan and they run into a few, that outing can get ruined in a minute. But obviously, great place to pitch, not an amazing place to hit. What are you thinking here? Full stacks, single stacks, one-offs? What are you doing?
This one's pretty interesting just because I say it every time he's up, but I just need to make sure that people know that when Luis Medina does break out, that I was here and I was waiting for it.
Yep.
So but all that to say, yeah, I'm definitely getting to the Twins though. I mean, he just isn't there yet. And when Royce Lewis right now, like you mentioned, man, just on another planet, and like, God, if he was healthy for the full season, like what his stat line could potentially have looked like, would have been really could have been really special. But like, you just gotta appreciate what he's doing right now. It's awesome. And for the Twins, man, I will say I posted about it in Discord. I was very much unaware of Carlos Correa's season right now. He's having a really good year. He's having a really good year. He's slugging 460, 130 WRC plus. Like, hand up, I did not know that Carlos Correa was doing this. Maybe it's very quiet and doesn't quite translate as well to fantasy, but I think he's somebody that that knowing that he's having this good of a season, like I'm way more comfortable doing twin stuff because now I know Correa, Royce Lewis, and then if there's a righty on the mound, take some Kepler and throw him into that lineup as well. So I'm definitely into the Twins at home against Medina.
Yeah, no, I respect it for sure there. I will definitely have some Twins. I was surprised they weren't popping in some of the projection resources I was looking at. I was surprised they weren't popping more today. But like I got the Luis Medina comp for you right here. He's Jose Soriano, where it's like if it goes really well, it goes really well. If it goes bad, it goes really bad. And he has like the strikeout upside. And the Twins are a good place to find strikeouts, or traditionally speaking, had been. They've been a little bit better in recent memory, but you used to always try and find strikeouts from the Twins with right-handed arms.
He's Medina's pretty interesting from a K perspective. Maybe on other places other than ours, for fantasy purposes, but he's got a pick him right now of 5 Ks even. Now I don't know that I like him for 6, but I do like him to get at least 5.
Yeah, respect it. Okay, so this one's since changed. Maybe I'll give it an update. Emerson Hancock, as we already talked about, coming for the Mariners. Obviously, Mariners is just bad place to hit, bad place to pitch. Great place to pitch, bad place to hit. We got Crochet going on the other side, who has the highest strikeout rate on the slate. He's been phenomenal this year. It'll be very interesting to see if he becomes a deadline deal target as well. I mean, we just talked about Luis Severino being one. Garrett Crochet could yield a decent haul for a contending team here if they wanted to go that route, but maybe he's one of their building blocks for the future. Now, Luis Robert was not in the lineup yesterday, but came up as a pinch hitter in the 9th inning and on one pitch tied the game at 1-1. So, he still got that in his bag. He'll be back in the lineup today. Same with Mitch Hannah, GOAT, who walked it off last night. Are we getting to any bats in this scenario, Nez? Or are we strictly pitching in T-Mobile Park there?
Strictly pitching. I think I'm gonna say it, man. I'm Xing out the bats. We're Xing them out. And last time I said it, we had the game of the century, but I am Xing out these bats in this game. I'm making an X over the lineup with my mouse here. No, no, thank you on that front. But yeah, I mean, Crochet. They've. It would be awesome to keep him around for for when they're a contender, but they absolutely need to get the most out of him, which is via a trade. And the league right now seems pretty wide open. The teams that are buyers do have some pretty interesting pieces to offer. So, I think Robert and Crochet are both out of here. They need to be. If not,
Ooh.
I mean, it doesn't make sense for them to keep these guys around.
The Robert one is tougher for me because it's like if you get rid of the building block of your franchise, now what? Like they don't have much going on in the minor league system, and maybe that's a bull case for trying to obtain some stuff to go. But like, how much better of a prospect could you possibly find who is still of a youthful age than Luis Robert?
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. Like if they wanted to keep him around and try to build something around him, go ahead. But it just feels like even when you extend him, and then like
Mhm.
when he gets to, like they're a long ways away. They're a long ways
Yeah.
away. So if I see that as a GM, I'm like, let's just get this shit over with. Rip the band-aid off and
Yeah.
suck hard until we can stop sucking.
Phrasing. Um, all right, we got D-backs Angels. D-backs low key one of my favorite spots on the slate right now. Griffin Canning has low key been a gas can this year. He looks like the worst pitcher on the slate to me. Now, I'm for whatever reason I respect Luis Medina more than him, but yeah, I think I'm kind of in like the um, yeah, yeah, Roddy. Yeah, maybe like Rotorun or Canning are like the two most obvious attackable bad pitchers on the slate in quotation to me. I was surprised that some of the projection stuff had Angels low key popping because I'm a Brandon Pfaadt respecter, especially the strikeout rate. And we've seen watered down Angels lineups in recent memory because Taylor Ward got hurt and got lifted from the game. And same with Logan O'Hoppe. So you might see something similar today with those ones. Maybe both of them are not back in the lineup. So that could make it even better spot for Pfaadt. So all that to say, I really like Diamondbacks in basically their entirety.
Yep, yeah, everything about Arizona is very, very favorable today. So I mean, I saw that too with the Angels, but like I think that is very much a Ward is in the lineup and O'Hoppe's in the lineup, type of projection, and I would not be surprised if neither of them are when it comes out. I guess if you want to like call a shot, like one off Renhefo potentially. Like I love Renhefo. I've been taking a ton of him in the seventh inning stretch, but otherwise, it's all Arizona for me. Really like their lineup today against Griffin Canning, who, like you said, is a gas can, and not.
Mm-hmm.
It would very much surprise me if he fends off Arizona today. I mean, the run total says it all. Their ADPs also say it all. But I'm going to be fighting my way through the chalk, through everybody else trying to stack up these D backs because they are gettable once you plant your flag on Ketel Marte, then you kind of have the rest at your
Rest of
disposal
the
there.
Bitcoin. Yeah. Yeah, they could do something a little funky last game of the series with the lineup today. Though they did do a weird rest day with both Walker and Marte on the same day. Like, I think it was Monday. I want to say I can go back and
Yeah, that was
check
weird.
myself, but yeah, it was bizarre. Just checking right now, looking back to make sure Ward and or O'Hoppe did not pinch hit yesterday, and they did not. Zach Neto had a nice game. They won 8-3 yesterday. Neto had a nice game. Rendifo had a decent game. Joe Adell homered. So yeah. Anyways, just recency nuggets associated with them there. And then last game. Why can't I find my tab? There we go. Last game on the slate here. It was originally going to be Yamamoto, I saw, and now it's Michael Grove, aka Michael Groove It to Corey Seager. Well, we could get a little bit of a discount on the Rangers still because they're low key like the Braves right now, where their offense hasn't fully rounded into form here. So Dodgers are chalk, as Dodgers always are. Be mindful of the potential Will Smith resting in there. But other than that, yeah, anything to add, Nez?
No, but I think that the Rangers are someone that I initially looked at and said like, probably not. And now, after talking to the slate, I think that they are easily like 101 as far as like contrarian pieces. I'm ranking in no order, Dodgers, D-backs, Twins, Mets, and then like Rangers are probably like number 5 for me, like pretty easily.
Okay.
And other than Corey Seager, the Rangers are very, and Seager's only got a 15 ADP. The rest are very much, had at will here. So definitely something that I'm looking forward to. We just need, Adolis Garcia, man, my boy, has been just not good as of late. So really need him to pick things up.
He started the season white hot too.
Yep.
He had like 9 home runs in the first, I want to say 6 weeks, 5 weeks, something like
I was
that.
feeling good about that for a while.
Yeah. And then, it's still aging better than Michael Nelson Trout.
Yeah, but that's injury, I can't victory lap that. Like Trout's like 130, 150 points off from him, and he's missed the entire season. Dude, go ahead.
No. You say. I was going to go in a different direction.
Dating, going back to May 1st, man. It's impossibly bad. Adolis Garcia dating back to May 1st, slugging 279, an average of 147, 30 WRC plus. Like he's only walking
30 WRC plus.
He's putrid
hitting third every single day.
Just every time.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, hopefully he turns it around for you.
I would love that. Would love that.
Chipsy say the counterpoint is that they've sucked with Lou Bob anyways. Yeah, for sure. I'm just looking at the contract stuff right now because I was curious. He's got 4 years of control, including this one. And it's like so palatable. It's like 15 million and then 2 years of club option at 20 mil. Like that's nothing for a potential like top 15 talent in the game, offensive talent.
That's why like my counterpoint is they could get a haul for that. But I hear
Julian suggesting like you call up the O's and you get like Heston and Mayo.
Seems like you can
reasonable.
Yeah, there's a lot of bat needy teams that would give it all up for Lou Bob, man. Just with the control and what you get from him this season.
If Lou Bob went to the O's and he hit third every single day instead of like Mountcastle or Santander, and Santander goes down to like, well, he's been hitting fourth most of the time, but basically it bumps like Mountcastle and O'Hearn down.
Yeah.
From a fantasy projection, like the counting stats, I think would go up. But I think from a fantasy projection standpoint, how right-handed power goes to die in like Camden Yards there, like I don't know if I would love it.
Right. As fantasy holders, I don't think that we would want that.
Like, how amazing it sounds on paper? It's like, yeah, he's hitting like behind Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman. That's so amazing. I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, then when you put him in Camden, it's like, oh, like it kind of cancels out.
Right. Because he's not like light tower power guy, right? Like he hits homers, but he hit 38 homers last year, 36 homers last year, something like that. But like I bet you if you overlaid the hitting chart, like at least 5 of those don't go out. I don't know. I'm just kind of bro sciencing.
No,
Here's a
I mean,
good one.
yeah, it makes sense.
Colin in the chat here saying, put him behind Bobby Witt in the Royals order.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
I would love to see the Royals go for it.
Especially with Hunter Renfroe gonna miss some time here. You could easily justify that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Quadzilla saying that we're overlapping with Pete today. Yeah, man, it's a unfortunate circumstance. We tried to kind of like balance between lulls and ADP chasing here and just like timing of the show. We wanted to get the majority of it in the window, but we had to overlap for about 30 minutes there, which is kind of unfortunate there. But Pete's just taking over the stream game, dude. He's streaming Mondays. He's streaming for like 47 hours. On Thursdays, he's streaming for 17 more hours. It's crazy. So it's hard to even fit our time in here.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the beautiful thing about the old YouTubes is they do save it for you. So as long as we do the baseball stuff first here, people will get to it. Let's rip one baseball draft and then let's test out the Pug but Superflex waters here, Nez.
Yeah, let's do it. I've only done one of these drafts thus far because I was doing a lot of the daytime diamond and just getting ready for the show here. But that one draft did include Luis Castillo, so throw that one in the trash.
Well, you get a nice little swap skis to Emerson Hancock. There, that's exactly what you signed up for.
My boy.
Let me see here again. There we go. One more spot to draft a little baseball. Yeah, this Royals team, I was looking at it like the last couple days because, they've been in such a good hitting conditions to like stack and stuff. Man, they just don't have much. They just don't have much going on. Like, I know Salvi's kind of like flirting with league lead in RBIs, and they're kind of getting him some rest days. He's less behind the plate these days. But like, man, that backside of the lineup when they do like Lofton and Blanco and like their record is really outperforming what their roster looks like, in my opinion. But the Royals have been the ones who have done that for years consistently, right?
Yeah, definitely like being buoyed by Reagans and Lugo and in the top of that order, like no question about it. Right. But
and Goody P hasn't even been like amazing yet.
No,
you know what I mean? Thing. Yeah.
So that is like a positive, I guess. Like, hey, when he does come alive, that'll be good for them. They've been getting some good ABs out of Freddie Fermin too, which like I don't ever draft him, but like,
what do you like here, Nez? We could do some Dodgers stuff by taking Mookie Betts and then figure it out. We could take Garrett Crochet, who I think is SP1. We could take the Marte because we like the Arizona stuff, or we could take Royce Lewis.
Marte, Lewis, or Crochet for me.
Marte, Lewis, or Crochet. Let's do Lewis and figure it out here, because I want to put us in a little bit different position just for the stream's sake than other people right now. I think all are viable picks there. I think Mookie Betts is obviously viable there. Right. Yeah. Let's do this here and see what we can do. Carlos Correa's ADP to stack with him is really pushed up. Maybe we fade that one. Ryan Jeffers, another guy who's kind of like tailed off after he was getting mentioned in the same breath as like Willem Contreras, and he was being talked about as like these elite top of order hitters there. He's really fallen off and fallen down in the order to like that 7-8 hole kind of thing.
Yeah, Jeffers is a pretty lofty ADP right now in the 7th inning stretch, and I just do not draft him. Just being a catcher and the lack of plate appearances, I think that's just something that auto drafters are keeping him afloat there. I mean, in dailies, sure, in the right matchup, but no, I agree. I think that was a bit of a mirage what we were seeing at the beginning of the season there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a lefty killer, but
of course, certified.
Yes. We got our guy Best Ball Viper in here. Well, Garrett Crochet comes all the way back to us if we want it.
I do want it.
I do too.
Give me that all day.
Yeah. guy is a strikeout machine going against one of the lineups that strikes out the most. They do strike out worse against right-handed pitching for what it's worth, but yeah.
Mhm.
All right, Nez, do you want to set up some Texas stuff? Do you want to scroll even further? What do you think?
Um, I do like the idea of setting up Texas. I think like Seager being up there just kind of makes this like very, very easy to get
Okay.
to.
Yeah. Little revenge series against the Dodgers there. Came back with a homer last night. Josh asking who's pitching now. It's going to be Emerson Hancock is now pitching.
Yeah, I mean, dude, just
Yeah,
looking at this queue here, this is definitely like a choose your own adventure. Like nobody is like following this ADP with any sort of, you know,
Mhm.
strictness, I guess you could say. Um, so with Seager there, that kind of made the Rangers an easy stack. Um, are the Phillies just like buried here, or are they
They're
just
already
able?
gone.
Wow,
Harper and Schwarber already gone. And then yeah. I think it's pretty easy to go like Simeon, Garcia, and then a one-off, or we could do something funky like Seager's our one-off, and we do like Duran and Devers. Let's do Duran and Devers.
I like it. Are they there? Okay, yeah, there's Duran. I'm gonna have a lot of Duran today.
I like that. He's
He's a monster.
he's been phenomenal. He's legitimately been one of the best players in baseball for the last, call it, 140 games. Wow, look at this. All these Twins going. Okay, everyone's aping Twins right now, and that's fine. Sure, whatever. Maybe that's just this draft here. We see Jeffers go there. We see Carlos Santana. We see Willie Castro. The one caveat with the Twins is they are the number one most pinch hit risk team,
Yeah.
period. Like
Yes.
they are what we thought the Giants were the last like 2 or 3 years. So if you ape into Larnick, Kepler, you ape into Willie Castro, you ape into these kind of guys, they are 100% Kirilloff. They're 100% getting hit for at least one of them at one isolated time in that game. Now, I guess if you're stacking them, the mindset is you really hope they just go off and they get up 10 early and then it doesn't matter and they just leave the bats in. Maybe that's like the mindset, but yeah. Anyways, that's just kind of my little
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
caveat for everybody.
yeah, like it makes that chalk even worse, right? Like if the Twins were being undrafted, then like, oh, that's sneaky. Let's play them, and like maybe they go off before the pinch hit happens. But yeah, now that they're chalk, it makes it 10 times worse.
Mm-hmm. Yep, agreed there, Nez. Let's get ahead of 180p that I think should rise now that we've got the pitching change, and let's take the aforementioned Luis Robert Jr. on this team.
I like a one-off Lou Bob.
We build ourselves a little 2-1-1. Royce Lewis is the guy you need. That game doesn't go nuke, and Lewis just continues to homer. And then we find ourselves that the little contrarian top of Boston there, and then a couple one-offs. Feels decent.
It does, yeah. You really do have to like get creative with these lineups, man, to take these contests down. I mean, you can set yourself up for success if you just like have a process and stick to it as far as constructions and building in these contests, but like to put yourself in position to win first most nights, in my opinion, as opposed to just like waiting for your night, it's doing things that feel incorrect as far as stacking goes. And that's, doing 2-2-1s or twos and three one-offs, like depending on the slate size, of course. But it's something that like I've made like a conscious effort to like, I guess like in simple terms, stack less, but like spread my exposures around a little bit more across the slate. Just because I'm just noticing. Just
Yep.
noticing what's winning, and to not adjust would be pretty foolish.
Yeah, I think it's all relative to like the size of the slate and the overarching totals of the slates. And I think the last, kind of like couple weeks, that's basically been really good meta for what we've been seeing, and I think today's slate falls into that bucket as well. We have one lineup thus far. We have the Red Sox lineup. Hamilton is hitting second. He is just on fuego right now. And the lineup looks a little bit better when you get Yoshida back in the middle and you got Ton back hitting third. He was playing yesterday and he's been back for like the last couple games here, but just something of note there. And then GA saying AK sent down. Who's AK?
Alex Kirilloff, man. Pittsburgh's own. Put some
there you
respect
go.
on his name.
Okay, so Kirilloff's been sent down. Okay, nice.
No
little
Wallner,
nugget
though.
there. No Wallner? Who'd they bring up?
Shoot. Who did that? I forget. But not Wallner. Not yet, at least.
Okay. That's actually a good little nugget there because it might make some of like the right-handed starter like safer, like Willie Castro. If he starts today, I imagine he plays today. Because then they just have Kyle Farmer off the bench and Manuel Margot will come in for one of the left-handed outfielders at some point in time, whether it's for defense or just for hitting.
They're calling up Austin Martin.
Oh, Austin Martin was former first-round pick of the Blue Jays that was part of the Jose Barrios trade there.
Vandy boy.
Yeah. He's interesting, man. Like he was kind of like he wasn't like quote unquote toolsy, right? Like he didn't have like that big outlier tool when he was drafted. It was the equivalent of, I don't know. I was going to make a terrible comp, but it's like, no, I can't do it. But like, it was like the equivalent of like drafting, he was a stud shortstop at Vanderbilt, but like he was Vanderbilt, right? Yeah, almost.
Yeah, Vandy.
Certainly. Yeah, when Vandy was good there, when they had the Lighter and what was the other kid's name?
Rocker
combo. Yeah. Yeah, but like he was like quote unquote like what would transfer to be a super util guy at the next level.
Yeah, like not a lot of power, can hit, like okay speed, okay in the field.
Just like a 40 across everything.
Yep, yeah, just like yeah, total, total jag. But
yeah,
you never know. There could be a breakout there where he ends up, putting above average contact numbers up, but yeah, it's not like his strikeout numbers aren't bad. So there's a chance. But yeah, just does not profile as somebody that's gonna like be a needle mover.
Right. Nez, before we close the book on that, anything you want to say in terms of like home run call, favorite pitcher on the slate, favorite contrarian pitcher? Anything you want to just say to close the book on baseball for the day?
Medina, sneaky, very sneaky today. I think the way that Medina gets there is like the righties for the Mariners, of which there are a few strong ones, get to Crochet. Crochet becomes irrelevant. Fenway does its thing, and Nola and Houck are irrelevant. And Medina finds his way to like 7 Ks and a quality start, and actually can be the highest scoring pitcher on the slate. So today's the day. Luis Medina breakout. You heard it first. Pencil him in.
I don't hate it, man. And it's going to go against everyone who's taking Twins chalk right now. I think I will get to some Angels as a contrarian stack, even though I said I love the D-backs and I love whatever, just from a game theory standpoint. Nobody's playing Angels. I will get to a couple, like not full onslaught stacks, but I will definitely play a little bit of Angels. If I was only playing like 4 or 5 lineups, I would try and do like some Angels, kind of like 2-man, 3-man, and then mix in like Luis Robert and Gavin Sheets, for instance.
Sure.
Corey Jolk's been going nice recently. Yep. I would do some gross shit like that nobody else wants to click. But the chalk again for like the 5th straight slate is strong again, and it's pretty all condensed for good reason. So you're gonna have to get creative out here, but it doesn't feel like a huge onslaught slate to me. And my contrarian kind of like home run guy will be Gavin Sheets tonight.
I like it.
Cool. All right. Are we settled here that we are going to do the pug, but Superflex?
Let's do it, man. New contest, something new, Let's do it.
All right. I'll talk about the structure in 1 second. I will register first so I don't rug everyone. We got 5 more spots if you guys want to spend one of your 3 bullets alongside us. I think I have ETR rankings in 1 more spot and it's full. All right, cool. 2 out of 12, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 5, 62 person seat final. So a little bit different than like the Dalmatian that we were looking at yesterday, Nez, where we deemed it kind of like a week 16 contest because it was like a 1 out of 8 and then a 28 person final. This one structurally kind of like in lockstep with a lot of the other formats we have seen that have been the small time box ones, except for this is in fact Superflex.
Yeah, the 62 person final is nice too, man. That's a very nice structure. 62 person final to win 20K. That's awesome. 3 max. I think if John Boy is throwing Superflex contests on his sheet, that this is going to have a pretty solid grade to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe it did. I saw him tweet something earlier, and he liked the structure a lot. So that's kind of like our stamp of approval.
Yeah, I love that he has the little formula there for it.
Our guy J Habs here saying that he got that Royce Lewis plus Bryce Harper plus Crochet combo in the triple play. So shut it down. That's the GM right there. And on the other side of the spectrum, which makes baseball beautiful, Best of All Viper saying, yeah, he just drafted Michael Grove.
Live on stream for everyone to see.
Love it. Kind of a friends and family draft here. Hockey Hooligans in here, baby Stevie's in here. Sam Olsen vying his way for Mount Rushmore. We have not forgotten. We have not forgotten. We are still going to do the definitive show of just ranking the players on the site with some fun, tongue-in-cheek categories and some hat tips to some screen names, and we're going to do it all, and we're going to do it soon, but we'll do it when NBA wraps up, when Stanley Cup Finals wraps up, and things slow down a little bit in the dog days of summer there.
Yeah, it's gonna be excellent content. It's gonna fill the void, bring in the views. We know what we're doing, folks. Just bear with us.
Oh man, we are full-fledged cranking purple in this draft, as you alluded to, Nez. The Superflex ADP has shifted since the first time in which we did Superflex on this stream. We are coming into like the yellow territory for us and kind of that next tier. What are your thoughts just initially here?
Yeah, man, this is I think if you want to push it, I think this is where we try to push it.
Fuck yeah, let's push it.
Do you want to Chase or Jefferson?
Let's do Chase.
Okay. Did Burrow go? Well, we might be able to get Burrow.
You know what? No, well, I was thinking about that. I don't think it'll work out. I think you have to take Burrow first, and then someone could just still double tap wide receivers. Let's take Justin Jefferson and give ourselves an out at quarterback later.
Okay. I like that. I like that better. I think that's that's good planning. And I mean, Jefferson Chase straight up, like those guys are going to have very, very similar range of outcomes. I think. I'm not sure if there are season long projections on Pick'em for them, but let me check because that would be kind of fun to compare.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got Jamar Chase has a season long.
Jamar Chase has a season long.
Yeah, so Jefferson, they are very similar. Jefferson is 8.5. Oh, sorry. Let's go ahead and pick.
I think we just take Amon-Ra. Gives us another quarterback out that could potentially come back on the other side.
This is the brand, man. The brand is staring the QB Avalanche in the face and taking two of the best wide receivers you cannot get in any other format.
Yeah, and we are literally pissing all over it.
All over, literally. So I was going to say Jefferson projections 8.5 touchdowns.
Okay.
1375 receiving yards.
Okay.
Chase is 9.5, so an extra touchdown with 1310 receiving yards. So it's literally a dead even, by touchdowns and receiving yards. A dead even, projection for fantasy points.
That kind of checks out to me. Does that check out to you?
100%. 100%.
Yeah. I think you have to give the touchdown equity in favor of Chase just because of the potency of the offense, and their team totals are going to be higher if
Yeah.
everyone just stays healthy at this point in time.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know, as far as ceiling goes, like if I'm like judging right tails, I think that they're also like going to be pretty similar too. I mean,
Yeah. I think those two have further right tails than like Amon-Ra St. Brown, for instance.
definitely. Definitely.
Even
Which is,
though
yeah.
even though he has the dome and he has the higher, implied totals like that. We've talked about this at nauseum. The highest as of right now, 45 plus point games and 48 plus point games. But yeah, it's interesting
Yeah.
that I don't vision him as like the full-fledged slate breaker.
No, if this was like full PPR, then I think that you can maybe give him that. But because the target shares for him are truly like unbelievable every year that he's been in the league. But yeah, no, I agree. I just don't see him having these like stringing together these like 30-point games that Lamb, Tyreek, Jefferson, and Chase can. It just doesn't. Maybe that's a flaw in my mental sim, but I don't see
I
that for ARSB.
I respect it. We just got another baseball lineup here. Bader's back in and Nimmo's sitting. Oh no, Nimmo's in the 2-hole. Sorry. Alonso, who am I missing here? Bader and Nimmo are in. JD Martinez is in. Lindor's in. Pete Alonso's in. Starling Marte's in. They're missing Francisco Alvarez. They're going to Luis Torrens.
Yeah.
Torrens.
Vientos going pretty nice lately. That might be a sneaky inclusion of a stack.
Yeah, good shout there.
Something we didn't really talk about. Obviously, like going down the order for some of these chalk teams is a way to get different, but still access to a good environment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good shout. Basketball Viper, I don't know what you're concerned about. Drafted Grove 7 times.
Yeah, what are you talking about, dog?
He's gonna. Are you referring to Castillo as a potential swap? Because Grove's starting. I think he's gonna be good.
I think it's because you called him Michael Groove it to Corey Seager, and now he's scared.
No.
I literally see nothing about this.
Yeah, I don't see anything about him being scratched or being moved or anything like that.
Oh wait, hold on. I think he's an opener.
Ooh, that doesn't run parallel to anything he's ever done in his career.
I know. So according to Fantasy Pros, this is per Fantasy Pros. He's going to be an opener because I think he just pitched yesterday.
Oh,
I did not realize that.
No, likewise. This has been a way more purple heavy than rooms in the past.
What are you gonna do, bud?
Let's fucking push it.
No, come on, come on, come on, come on. You got it. We
gotta capitulate at some point.
Yes.
I was looking for the San Fran guys because we could get a little 17 with Amon-Ra. Let's take Deshaun then. If we're gonna go quarterback,
I can respect that.
At least we can find stacking partners. At least he has like a ceiling, in my opinion, that's an outlier that doesn't necessarily has to be tethered to his pass catchers like these other guys.
Yeah. All right.
Do we have to take another one?
I don't think so. You're scrolling down. I'm seeing options. By the time we come back around, we can take a second one at a minimum, I think.
Okay. I mean, it is playing into like the meta that we talked about where you roll the right-hand side of the board in Superflex and you just have to double birds the rest of the room and try this. Because if you try and start like Kyler and Dak, I think you're just getting crushed by other teams that exist in the contest, let alone exist in your room.
Yeah, I mean, once you do like your various 2v2s, 3v3s, or whatever, like your quarterbacks are going to be weaker. Your flex positions are going to be weaker. Like where are you getting the edge elsewhere? If you decide to play the same game as everybody else with worse players, it doesn't really make sense. Yeah, of course, we get a Superflex contest, and Nick comes sprinting into the chat. He's like the biggest Superflex fan that I know.
Superflex bull. Just looking here, Nez too. I think we should take a running back here. I think it's fun to take like Ayuk or Debo Samuel for the stack, but we only start 2 wide receivers in this format.
Yeah.
And we got some elite ones to choose from between the 3 at the top of the board here. Who do you prefer? HN? I guess HN gives us the week 17 with Deshaun as a tiebreak.
Yeah, I would say him or Derrick Henry.
Okay, let's do the HN just for the week 17 thing. I think I internally made up my mind once I thought of the week 17.
Yeah. Henry seems maybe a better like marathon click.
Yeah. Yeah, Nick's big super flex guy here. So it sounds like Yarborough will be the long guy then? Interesting. So that turns around some of the bats. I mean, Yarborough being long guy feels better for Garcia and Simeon than it does for Seager.
Seager can hit anybody.
That's true. He definitely can.
But yeah, I hate bullpen games. I hate openers. It does, in my mind, make the Rangers less appealing. Whether or not that's right or wrong, it just does for me personally, because I hate that shit.
Yeah,
it's just not it's not baseball.
It's not baseball. Yeah,
It's
you're
not.
old school like that.
Put a goddamn starter out and pitch him until he gets shelled.
Until his arm falls off.
130 pitches.
Yeah.
I don't care what he just did.
Jay Hay from Baseball is Dead the other day threw out a tweet, like he does his nuggets or whatever. He threw out a tweet that was talking about active leader in wins amongst all starters right now. Do you know who it is?
Can I get probably can't even get a hint on this, huh?
He's in the National League. He's not currently pitching right now.
But he's active?
Yeah, it was here. This is it's a bad caveat. It's active under the age. Sorry, that was a big
okay.
Under the age of 30. So
Under
it's not like
30.
I think it was 30. Let me confirm here. I'm gonna find it for you.
Okay.
Just so I'm butchering it for you right now. But I found it very interesting because he was basically talking in terms of like Hall of Fame candidacy, how like basically pitchers don't get wins anymore. And it just kind of ties into the opener conversation.
Yeah. No more pitchers in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, the most wins by an active player in their 20s. So still in their 20s and active wins leader. He's late 20s and I think he's on the IL right now. There's a fringe chance he was DFA'd.
What?
Yeah, they talked about this guy as a trade target where if he just got out of this ballpark, he would do great things in the future.
Kyle Freeland?
It's close. You're on the right
who is it?
Right track then. Herman Marquez.
Oh, wow.
Dude, 65 wins.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's fucked, right? Like baseball, like you want to talk baseball is dead. There you go. I don't know. Like that's crazy. That one
say
blew
what you
my
will.
mind.
Say what you will about the win category. That is crazy. That is crazy.
Like, why does it still exist in Roto fantasy leagues? Like, gosh.
No place.
All right, Nez, I think we got to bite the bullet here and either set up Gino to like lock it or just go with, hey, we got to play JJ McCarthy alongside. We already bet on.
We got to do the JJ McCarthy ceiling.
Okay. Sounds good, man.
You never know.
I mean, this feels like we might end up doing both here.
I think so. You have yourself set up to do both.
Yeah. I wonder, like, no Super you took Goff here, and then he stacks it with Laporta, like, pretty intelligent, like, move like that. I wonder in other rooms if you could push so that Goff falls past this tier and back to the Amon-Ra drafter. Because I think that would have been the dream for us, right?
Yeah, I really am interested to see how he lands that plane.
Yeah. Just ISOing the onesies right now. Yeah, the Travis Kelsey pick. Yeah, I don't know. When you only start 4 skill position players, it's so much different than like our
I do think
traditional
it does
BDM
make
roster.
it for sure. I think it makes bully
Yeah.
tight end more viable. Um,
Yeah.
but but like how you gonna land that plane is the obvious question here.
Okay. Derek Carr has a bunch of stack options. Drake May has a bunch of back stack options. Bryce Young, Daniel Jones, Bo Nix,
Can we
Justin
push it one more?
Fields.
Well, I want to do Pacheco, but these 2 week 6 buys are screwing with it.
I say Mark Andrews or quarterback.
Quarterback.
Carr,
Yeah.
and just figure it out.
Yep. Carr. We can do Shaheed. Maybe get Kamara bounce back. But although maybe not, maybe now is not the good time to draft Alvin Kamara with this. Have you seen this like issue or this dilemma with Alvin Kamara going on?
Yeah, I mean it's low key nothing new. Like we talked about this three months ago where we were doing the big board stuff where it was like he is 100% not going to be on the team next year with the way his deal is currently structured. So for them to want to get ahead of it right now and him to want to get ahead of it right now, I don't know. That totally makes sense. It's what made the Kendre Miller pick. It what made Jamal Williams in the 20th round of big boards seem palatable, right? Like I'm not shocked by it at all.
I'm not shocked, but I think that it is a really poor reading of the room by him.
Mhm.
You are getting $11 million and
Mhm.
nobody's going to trade for that contract. You're not moving the needle for anybody. Teams have figured this out pretty obviously based on the way that they've been drafting RBs and paying them.
Yep.
You are being paid $8 million like less than McCaffrey or whatever, like, and your skill level is clearly deteriorated.
Right.
Like there's nothing that can like you need to just take your $11 million, be happy you're making $11 million, and then like get your new contract next. Like they're not gonna extend you. They're like unless I'm mistaken, and I'm not trying to
Mhm.
be all anti-labor, obviously, but there's just reading the situation, he has like no leverage. In
Right.
fact, he's making
That's
out
always been
because
the problem with
he's making out because he's earning $11 million, which he may be the last running back at this stage of his career to make $11 million in a season.
yeah, especially compared to like some of the stuff he's made previously in his season or in his career. Look at this, man. Like this is clearly backloaded.
Right. Which is
Huh.
how the Saints have always been, in my opinion. I mean, this is just one example of how, like, the Saints have always been a team that's like skirted the salary cap. Well,
Huh.
all they've been just doing is like, pushing kicking the can down the road. Like you have to
Right.
pay the piper eventually. And they're doing it now because now they are in cap hell, which
Yeah.
everybody said didn't
20
exist.
$29 million cap hit for a running back at age 30 in 2025.
And maybe if they win a ring before this season, they people think that it's worth it. But like, everybody says the cap is fake. Well, the cap is real eventually.
Right. Huh. Crazy.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what this means for him this season, but
Yeah, me neither. Amari Cooper goes there, so we lose our stacking partner. T. Higgins. Chris Godwin on the cover. Keenan Allen.
so if we're
Or
going wide receiver here, man, that
David Montgomery.
there's Keenan Allen. I didn't see Keenan Allen there. I would probably do Keenan Allen.
Okay.
I am
Um,
not somebody that's, age afraid of the age curve. If you
With
bet on these
Keenan or
guys
in general?
before we see the downfall, chances are you're going to be in a better spot.
Bet on these guys before you see the downfall.
People are
What do
trying
you
to
mean by
always
that?
try to get ahead of Father Time,
Of yeah,
and then we try to do it with even like someone like Adam Thielen,
right.
and these guys, the age cliff I think has smoothed just slightly. Knock on wood that I'm not like jinxing it this season, but I think
Mhm.
these dusty olds hang around longer than people want to admit.
Yeah, that's fair. I can get on board with that. We don't have a Seattle piece. I'm just thinking through some 17 stuff there as like tiebreakers. Pete had a really good video yesterday. If you guys haven't seen, like 10 tips of the trade basically after his first 50 drafts. And one of them was like people always force correlation early
Yeah.
compared to later. David Montgomery stands out to me. Kittle, Jaden Reed, Ridley, Godwin. Who do you like?
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix.
I think Bo Nix is like a starter the whole season, and then you can just shut it down and kind of ping pong with these quarterbacks that we have. Because I mean,
Okay.
it's a room full of mid. So I think we just try to capture some ceiling with Bo Nix. We get some stacking options with Bo Nix late. You can stack him very, very easily. Everybody that is catching passes from him will be available to us throughout the rest of the draft too.
Okay. Yeah, you sold me on that one. I was leaving the light on for Justin Fields, and he just went at 84.
I mean,
So
that's
then there,
crazy.
and then I was thinking of Gardner Minshew as a fun click where, I did the scroll EF down this morning. I don't know if you saw Nez.
Oh, I
I was
did.
doing a draft. I was doing my slow drafts this morning. That's the second time I've set up the backdoor Gardner Minshew stack as a third quarterback skinny stack.
I love that you
Um,
did that.
yeah, I don't know if I do, but it seems fun.
I think
It
Justin
seems
Fields,
contrarian.
or I think Gardner Minshew is. I mean,
They gave him starter money. That's what I'm dying on that hill. I'm dying on that hill of they saw what they saw in AOC last year. They retained the same coaching staff, and they still went out and were like, let's give starter money to Gardner Minshew.
yeah, I don't think it's like out of the question that second day or third day pick in AOC is not it.
Right. Yeah.
And Gardner
Well
Minshew,
said.
journeyman, but starter,
Mhm.
competent starter. Uh, the daytime
There you
diamond
go.
is not going well for me.
Nick is saying the same thing there. We'll do a little check in a second in real time. If it's not going well for you, it's probably not going well for me because I think we were on similar sides of the fence there.
Yeah,
So
unless you were overweight, Justin Henry Malloy. I don't know that you're having a good time.
no, why would I ever play that guy? He's batting
Jesus.
sixth though, but yeah, I was just underweight all things Detroit, and let alone the third worst hitter in their lineup, second worst hitter in their lineup. I'm
It'd
good.
be like that.
Yeah, that's just one of those. Even a scroll the F down, bro, gets scrolled on occasionally.
Get scrolled on.
um, yeah, this is like maybe this is for a different conversation, but it's something that Pete and I had the other day. I don't know if you caught any of that show, and one that I had on my lonesome there the other day that I've been thinking about right here, and it pertains to Superflex because the quarterback position is such a talking point in Superflex. J-Ab's saying that like 4 mid quarterbacks equals 2 top 20 quarterbacks, and I tend to agree, man, because like it's really hard to separate at the quarterback position as long as quarterbacks stay healthy and they're stacked in logical manners. So something that I've been implementing is I'm just getting so flat at quarterback this year, and naturally there'll be a little bit of spike when I get exploitative at like my flex positions because I want to stack with those guys a little bit more than say just like randomly. But I'm literally making a concerted effort this year to be like quarterback doesn't fucking matter, and I'm just gonna. And that doesn't mean I punt it every single time. I just mean I stack it every single time in an intelligent way, but I don't really give a shit who the quarterback is.
Yep, 100%, 100% with you on that, and how I'd like to play it too. I think you can have your convictions, you can have your stands elsewhere, and then build those stacks of like maybe of who you might need in the playoffs and set yourself up for, okay, you have your takes now, have that, the uniqueness, the exposures around those stances that you want to take. I think that is 100% the way to go, and what I'm trying to do as
Okay.
well.
All right, cool. All right. I was expecting a little more pushback from you, but I like that you're on board.
No,
Gives me
I've kind of
confidence.
always had that stance with QB, to be honest.
Nez, I think we take Njoku here, and we
Yeah,
start that Deshaun Watson stack. We don't have a tight end yet. This is a sweet spot for running back where I don't really care all of this. I'll ask you maybe like after this, but I feel like this is just a good click right now.
I agree. Yeah, like Njoku here,
Mhm.
it stacks, and we need a tight end. If we were using the easy companion sheet for Superflex, I think it'd be screaming Njoku at us.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. It's interesting. Baby Stevie takes Bowers there, like in a vacuum. I think it's probably more fun to have Brock Bowers than it is to have Njoku, but on our roster. But it does set up. He's already got 4 quarterbacks. I was just thinking through like the way boards fall. That like if he does Minshew here, like that's kind of like a fun break glass in case of emergency, like 8th and 9th round stack in a super flex.
It is. It really is.
Not bad.
Yeah, he's a really nice pick in Superflex.
You could do worse, as the kids say, huh?
They do say that sometimes.
Okay, Nez. I think running back. This feels like a good spot for running back.
It does, yeah. Now, as far as the running back, I could be talked into a million different directions here, but I think if I had to choose two that I'm looking at here, probably Javante or Najee.
Javante or Najee? Okay, I'm out on Javante because I am a Jaleel guy, and I heard some murmurings of potential cut candidate in Javante yesterday. I'm not sure if there's any.
Bullshit. Sorry, stopping you right there. Bullshit. He is
Yeah,
not.
I'm not.
Who'd
I
you hear that
agree.
from, John?
I agree. One of the beat reporters was passing that around, and they
Oh
were
my.
just talking about how like Jaleel's clearly ahead and blah blah blah. So I don't know. They maybe fake news over here, but I was reading that and that was a cap. So Chad's correcting me. So that was a cap, which is the kid's way of saying it's not true.
Cap is a lie, John.
Cap
Let
is
me
a
school
lie.
you.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm making the Jaleel and the um late Estim bet like a little bit more so. I was all in on Javante last year and the coaching staff just didn't like him, man. The changing of the guard, they forgot he was on the roster. He took a little bit longer to get up to speed in terms of his health than I think we originally thought at the beginning of last year. Yeah, not denying that we saw the talent back in the day, but yeah, I think I'll take some shots on the Zach Moss tier, Zamir White getting some flowers from both the coaching staff and teammates in recent memory. He had been a big faller. I kind of want to get some more Zamir White in my life right now before the price inevitably shoots up.
I'm way light on Zamir White too. The one thing that I'll say, I mean, like there was just kind of a carousel in Denver, but you know, if there's a lot of pretty decent arguments you can make for Jaleel and Javante, and maybe Estime if you want to go that way too.
Mhm.
But I mean, if what I will say, if the argument is like toward the end of the year they didn't really like him, well, toward the end of the year they played Jaleel like much less. Jaleel, as far as snap percentage go, at the beginning of the season, he had, and from week four, he had 33, 33, 40. That's percentage of snaps. After that week, he never cracked 20 um, until week 16. So, like,
Wow. Okay.
little guy. And then, Javante was clearly like the trap back, as using Gretsch terms there. The guy that would just get to just work the middle of the field, but like did have some decent passing work. I've just been seeing more and more Javante propaganda that has me thinking that there's a better chance than his ADP indicates that he can have a season that pays off ADP. I'm slowly getting there. I'm not a Javante Bull at
Okay.
the moment. I'm former Bull, recovering from my last from
I just got
2020.
my 2-month blue chip, man. You can't pull me back in. I just got my 2-month blue chip.
It
It's
hurts.
interesting that you bring it up. I was just cruising the timeline there because I saw something earlier. I thought it was a Norris and or Hayden tweet, but I can't find it, so it obviously wasn't them. I don't want to wrongfully attribute, but someone put out the snaps in pass protection that they played last year, and it was Samaje P. Ryan with like 50 something. Then it was Javante with like 40 something, and then it was Jaleel McLaughlin with 3. There you go.
Yes.
Ian put it out. GA's got me here. Yeah. Anyways, that's a. I found that very interesting because I was looking at it and I was like, in my mind, Jaleel's kind of like the smaller scat backy. We trust him in pass pro. We trust him to get open on screen passes and that sort of thing. And it just
Yeah.
wasn't the case last year. So
It
that is
seems like
a
profile, but
interesting.
right. Yeah, in
Mhm.
practice it didn't work out that way. Which
Yeah.
like I honestly had not known until I saw that tweet as well.
There we go. Um, Nez, I think the next 2 picks are gonna make themselves, or at least one of them. I think this is Cortland Sutton for us, and we just get that stack with Bo Nix.
Hmm. Yeah, I think Sutton
Um,
makes a ton of sense here.
yeah, there's some bearish news on Gus Edwards there. Not that he was like a big click of ours before. Wow, may still consider holdout 4 hours ago from Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
all right,
Okay.
yeah, sure, bud.
That always happens.
Remember last year in camp shit, they were talking about like, oh, they got to find money for Jerry Judy and like Cortland Sutton might be a cut candidate. And people were gal braining like landing spots for him, kind of like the way they're gal
Yeah.
braining Brandon Ayuk landing spots right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
It just never works out like this. It never works
Now,
out like we think.
interesting.
Yeah.
I thought Tyler Lockett would go on the right hand side of the board there, like for sure to the Geno drafter. But
Hmm.
they passed and they took Sharps there. So Tyler Lockett's there if we want it. We got 4-2-4-1 right now. Maybe running back's better for us. Maybe we just, take a shot on Austin Eckler, take a shot on
I
Jerome
like
Ford. Who do you
Eckler.
like? Like Eckler?
Eckler, yeah, I'm growing more and more like bullish on, maybe bullish is the wrong term, but like I'm seeing the cromulency in Austin Eckler. You know,
Romulancy. Nice. Yeah,
like
okay.
he's definitely going to, I think, play more than we want him to play. I
Okay.
think. Um,
Well, I mean, that just depends what side of the fence you're on. I got a comp for you because comp guy is fucking firing on all
let's
cylinders
go.
today.
I can't wait.
Austin Eckler is to our contests here as Giancarlo Stanton was to the 7th inning stretch, or not the to the dinger.
Wow.
And it's like, if we just put our idiot hat on and be like, we just used to draft this guy in the first round all the time. Maybe he just goes to a new team and becomes first round again. Like, maybe not to that extent, but he returns 3rd round value. Like, no one would be shocked if Austin Eckler is just getting like 15 carries and 7 targets a game, and he's playing alongside a rookie quarterback who's electric, who can run. And you just go like, oh yeah, by the way, all those videos you thought he was like slow and washed. Nah, by the way, he's fine. And he's a workout freak. He's a muscle hamster. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Robinson definitely does not profile as a pass catcher, right? That seems pretty obvious. That does not. I mean, he had a couple games where he did, but it's clearly like not his MO and not what they plan on using him for. Now my question is like, let's look up, I'm going to try to find these 2023 LSU stats and the running back there. And like, how did, the running back fare as far as
Yeah,
receiving
like dump
goes?
offs and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's probably a lot of running from Daniels.
I would think, but, let's
Yeah.
see. I need to first figure out
Ooh.
the name of the running back on the LSU roster. Cause I'm just looking at names
Just
and like,
go Just go to football, Pro Football Reference,
I am.
College Football Reference, and then click on the team, and then it'll just be like whoever was the highest.
Yeah. Okay. So Logan Diggs caught 8 balls. It was all Neighbors and Thomas. Yeah.
Right.
Josh Williams is another running back, I think, who caught 14. So we're not checking down Jane Daniels. But, when you have Austin Eckler on your team, I do think that a good coaching staff will design some plays that are for Austin Eckler to catch a pass out of the backfield. Now, that reads and sounds like wish casting, but I think good coaches do that. Like when you have a player that you just signed who's one of his calling cards is pass catching and you have a rookie quarterback, maybe you design some plays like that for him. I don't think that that's out of the question.
He's low-key been like efficient in like the knock for years was like, oh yeah, you just can't score when they get down to the goal line and like can't run between the tackles and do the hard nose stuff. And then he's low-key been like really efficient in like red zone stuff in recent memory. So there's not a non-zero chance he could take some of that away as well. Wicks went in front of us, but Judy gives us a double stack with the Deshaun stuff. Feels too easy.
Yes. Yeah. I think we go Judy.
Okay. We could also we'll see. We'll see what comes back to us because like taking another running back here would feel good too. And like Ty Chandler stacks for us. I don't know your thoughts on like Aaron Jones versus Chandler. There goes Chandler anyways. Marshawn Lloyd is a bring back off the 17 stuff for Minnesota. So we've got that Jefferson and JJ if he happens to be playing football. And then we got a whole bunch of guys that we kind of like just low key like.
Yeah, this is a pretty decent range for how our team is currently set up here. I think Stevie goes wide receiver, which I think leaves us with like a smash pick at running back.
All right.
But I don't want to jinx it. Okay. I would say Lloyd.
Okay. I'm fine with it.
We get a run back off of Justin Jefferson, and if everybody's right and Marshawn Lloyd is on the field 40% of the time this season for the Packers, then that feels like a really good pick.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with it. Yeah, we play that little running back with skinny stack on the other side of week 17 there. Feels decent.
What do you think the floor is for Jacobs ADP in regular best ball, like BBM ADP right now? Right now, Josh Jacobs ADP is before I say something wrong here, 48.5, and like he's routinely at pick 50,
falling to the 50. Yeah. I don't know. I thought he should be like I was in Hayden's camp there, where I thought he could be or should be in like the Derrick Henry range.
So was I.
Yeah, I mean,
to give you context, I'm sorry, I was gonna say to give you context, like for like a resistance, the next RB after him is James Cook at pick 57, Rashad White at pick 60, Joe Mixon at pick 61. I think Mixon can leapfrog these guys over the summer.
Yeah, I think Mixon could. Yeah, Mixon seems like the one that stands out from that grouping behind that could be the vaulter, right? Like as people get more and more excited about like, hey, they gave him money, they brought him in for all these reasons, they like him, blah blah blah.
Right.
And that offense gets good. This is
nice.
BBM DB here, just taking a quick look over the course of the entirety of the contest. Nick Chubb has been the furthest falling running back. Josh Jacobs currently 47.6. That is down 10.5 spots. So he is amongst 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's the seventh furthest falling running back, as you alluded to, Nez. So just a nice little visual to go with it.
Yeah, this is an awesome tool.
See what it was in the last like week or so. 3.6, something like that. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, to answer your question on like what the floor on the bottom falling out could be, I don't know, man. Yeah. We're so piss heavy right now. We are.
And you're forced to play the game because if you don't, it's like you're just straight up not building good teams.
Yeah, that's something we talked about yesterday a little bit, how it's like we've basically flipped the running back dead zone for the wide receiver dead zone. And it's kind of like, at what point do drafters just say, fuck this, and flip the pendulum back the other way?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take a village, I think, right?
Right. Or a bunch of recreational drafters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we kind of got hung out there. We're getting kind of froze behind at tight end here.
I have so much Chig.
So much Chig. Doesn't really do much for us on this roster, but I think we just might need another tight end.
I think so. I mean, unless you, I mean, the tight ends here are
Sinnott better than this.
I mean, it's kind of funny that because in regular best ball, Sinnott goes ahead of Chig, but I think that Sinnott is like a stack only because I think Sinnott is live to catch less than 30 passes this season.
Absolutely live for that. Absolutely live for that. Okay, we got a 4-4-5-2 right now. It feels like it's going to be, yeah, it is hilarious to say. It feels like 5 running backs. It feels like 4 quarterbacks. It feels like 3 tight end. So running back, tight end, 2 wide receivers in here in the last couple picks. Probably going to be wanting to stack those. Shahid's probably long gone. He's long gone.
A.T. Perry in the 19th is in our future.
Yeah, right.
Can you show just tight ends?
More tight ends. Juwan Johnson, but we got negative news at camp today.
Yeah, that's scary. Conklin, Jonnu. Conklin or Jonnu. ADP's a figment. Yeah, because we can do Juwan. We can do 4 tight ends because it's 20 rounds. I think it's way more viable. He's gonna fall probably to the 20th. I think people are really, they were not really excited about Juwan Johnson to begin with. And some of the news is like he might miss the season, but they hope that he can be back for the return. Like the range of outcomes here are very wide.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Does that bring Tommy Hudson into play? Was our guy ahead of the curve? Was our guy ahead of the curve who got banned from the site?
Wow. Taysom Hill out of the fold. Can't draft him at tight end.
Yeah. Should we be mixing in Taysom Hill in Superflex leagues as your 4th quarterback now?
I mean, he goes in the 14th here. I think it's totally like fair.
Get your Mr. Good Boys in the chat. He is he's having a time. All right. Buffalo Warpig saying that Pete sent him over here. Love to see it. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Buffalo.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, I think if you're going to reverse engineer this team, our last 2 picks are going to be a wide receiver.
I got to go get this dog a bone here. He is going. Can you hear that? Like he's just going mental.
Yeah, he's fired up, man. He knows what time it is, dude.
He does know what time it is. Okay, I'm gonna feed him real quick.
You got 8 picks. Okay. There's no way he's back in time. We're already down to 7. Khalil Herbert is 100% getting auto drafted on this team. Got the Mr. Good Boys in the chat. Let me get mine out because I am a card carrying member of the Badge Brigade. Oh, there we go. Comment in there. Hey guys, if you're hanging out here, give us a like. And if you're not subbed, go ahead and sub. We're streaming Underdog everything Monday through Friday. I have a feeling most of you people in here are subbed, but if you're not, sub, turn on the notification bell so you can hang out with us anytime we go live. John, back to you.
Yo. Yeah, do us a favor also. If you happen to be watching on the Twitter feed, jump on over and hit that sub button on the YouTube one there. We've been doing this recently just for like exposure purposes and the hope for a little bit of growth, but we're not going to do it forever. So, come over and sub to the YouTube stuff. We're here 1 p.m. and or 2 p.m. start Monday through Friday, and then consider being a member because at least one of the shows a week is behind the paywall. And in the future, we're gonna have some guests behind the paywall and stuff like that to make it worth your while. It's $5 a month. It's less than an entry to any tournament on the site, basically.
We've got Titans Intel at that tight end here.
Ace was gonna do us a favor there and milk the clock. We appreciate you.
Memphis Piss Boy is saying that he thinks Josh Weil is going to get a lot of snaps. Apparently, he's breakfast bros with Levis. I'm keeping a close eye on that because he's got Memphis in the handle. He's a Piss Boy, so he's drafting a lot. That's good intel. I got to keep an eye on Josh Weil there, even though I'm going to keep hammering away. CEH question mark?
I guess it's kind of like the end of any running back that I would possibly want to click.
Yeah, I mean, like, just take your CEH medicine.
Yeah, that did feel like taking your medicine there. I mean, you can make a bull case for Samaje Perine being a pass catching back tied to Bo Nix, or you can make the bull case that he gets cut and then turns into having a better role, so it works on
the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, that'd be the dream, but like it works on 2 levels on this roster. Estem as well, I guess. I would throw my hat in the ring here for Marvin Mims, though, and turn this Bo Nix into a double stack.
Yeah, don't want to be strong to say we have to, but I think we damn near have to. I think Marvin Mims, makes a ton of sense.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, if we're betting on the Broncos being, like, halfway competent and we've spent capital, we may as well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see here, like, this Derek Carr unstacked feels awful.
Sure.
Right now. That kind of feels like maybe where we...
Did somebody take Juwan?
No, not yet. So there's that to fall back on the last round to save.
What about old A.T. Perry? Did he go?
No, A.T. Perry will be our kind of like get out of jail, I think.
Yeah. It feels just... I think it's... he does the A.T.
Got it. There you go.
Yeah, it feels horrendous, but
the other one that's like so gross that nobody else will scroll to is Cedric Wilson.
He's a New Orleans Saint?
Yeah, professional wide receiver, my friend.
I could see him like week 1 scoring a touchdown. And then everyone's like, oh my gosh, like Cedric Wilson, I totally forgot about like we were totally ignoring Cedric
All the
Wilson.
money, man. Yeah.
What are we doing? Every year we do this.
We wish cast these rookie wide receivers and they play 20 snaps. Second year breakout for A.T. Perry. They didn't even like him last year.
You don't even need to make content, guys. We figured it out. We already know what you're gonna say.
Cedric Wilson signed a 2-year deal, $5.7 million. Signing bonus of $500,000 both years. 1.35 this year, 2.7 next year. Age 29 season right now. I mean, that's not horrendous, man. That's a little bit of money.
That. You have to adjust for Saintflation because they don't have a lot of money to spend. So if they are signing a wide receiver for $5 million, that's like, as far as their available cap, that's a large hit because they don't have shit.
That's like 20. That's like 20 mil. That's like he's getting Justin Jefferson money in Saints terms.
He's the king of the French Quarters down there, man.
I love it.
I think you might have talked me into Cedric Wilson in the 20th.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. What's the difference in him and A.T. Perry? I mean, maybe the second year breakout thing feels better. And like, Inthrius did all that fun data about like how many first and second year players on rosters. And maybe it's a better bet to make on a younger profile. But like,
maybe,
I don't know. Cedric Wilson kind of got a raw deal with Miami there. Like,
right.
He had that good year for Dallas. Then signed like a decent contract, looked like he was going to get some slot run. They'd put Waddle on the outside, blah, blah, blah. And then they go and they make the Tyreek Hill trade, and then he gets hurt. And then it was like, okay, fight with Braxton Berrios and River Craycraft for snaps, and good luck getting 15%.
Yeah, no, I totally think that that's like a fair assessment. Like that was such a concentrated offense. They just didn't have a chance when
Yeah.
you have Mike McDaniel scheming Tyreek Hill. You have no chance of like earning your share of that work because like it's so the concentration of that offense was insane.
Mhm. Nez, do you want to have 6 running backs on this team?
Who would the sixth be? Samaje?
Samaje just as like that dart throw that we talked
He
about
has
before.
outs. He has outs.
Yeah.
Maybe the best out is that he's not a Bronco, but he does have outs.
So do you want to do Perry and Samaje, or do you want to do because the tight end went?
Yeah, do Samaje, and then yeah, I think we just leave it with 3 tight ends.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Like Njoku's like we have Njoku. Like I think we're 3 is obviously fine.
Like we got Deshaun double
Double.
stacked. We got Bo Nix triple stacked with an out. We got JJ McCarthy skinny stacked with a run back. We have Cleveland. We have a run back in Achan. This team's actually not terrible. Like it feels gross and it looks so bad on paper, but it's like not that bad.
Yeah, it's not like we took 4 to start, right? I mean,
Right.
I think yeah, like you said, man, when you're drafting at the back end of drafts, like you need to get uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Like Elijah Moore would be like a super onslaught of the Cleveland stuff. It'd be a triple stack.
Yeah, like what's better there? Like betting on the giant
Si-
who has a better chance of
yeah,
commanding?
Elijah Moore, Josh Reynolds, or I think we do the Perry thing, man. Perry
Okay.
feels
I think you're
it,
right.
it feels better to have a skinny stack potential with Carr from a guy who at least, scored a couple touchdowns and flashed at the end of last year, second year guy, than it does to be like, okay, let's go professional wide receiver route for guys getting money who are third or fourth options when we've already like doubled or tripled down out
Yep.
here.
Yeah, let's at least give us a chance to have an out there. I think if you were trying to draft correctly, like
Uh-huh.
structurally based on all this information that's come out thus far, I think I think that all the roads would lead to AT Perry there based on how we built this team.
I like it.
Which I mean, like it's a
Um,
lot. That's way more thought than anybody's ever put into a 20th round Superflex pick. But hey, man, I think we did it right.
Yeah, I mean, like I think it matters too, right? Like it does matter. There's some very interesting 20th round picks going here, though. Like Dalvin Cook getting a job for Hockey
What?
Hooligan. The aforementioned Josh, let's call him like Wale. That'd be
Josh
sick.
Wale, like the rapper.
Wale. Yeah.
He's the new
Greg
Ron Dollar.
Greg Dulcich would have fit our roster too at some point. Just a guy that I didn't think of. So
Yeah, man.
Procto taking our 2 stacking tight ends there at the end.
I think Dolchich makes sense as a scroll the F down pick in regular best ball.
Mm,
Maybe wait for camp to find out if he's like healthy and actually playing and catching balls and whatnot. But I mean, like his season was ass last year because he was hurt the whole time. It's not
right.
like yeah, Sean Payton came in and like wasn't as like goo goo gaga as Hackett was over him, but he was hurt last year. That's why he didn't do so bad. I say this because John, last night I refuse for whatever reason. I had wild hair up my ass, and I'm like, I'm going to max the mini Schnauzer 3. Well, it was 97% full when I decided to do that and had like 12 drafts left. So I did 12 mini Schnauzers in a row, pretty much
Oh
landed the
my
plane in all of
god.
them. I'm not going to lie. Some of those included a Greg Dulcich pick and thinking myself through the Samaje Perine stuff and thinking like, okay, if he gets cut, maybe there's a chance that he lands in a better situation. So that was my night last night, but I think we did
Dude, that's
a good job here.
wild.
Sorry.
12 at once? That's it. I mean,
I'm a
Davis would be
freak.
proud, man.
Yeah, I had to do it, man. That was money on the table. $60 for a chance to win 10K. I got to do it.
Gotta do it. It'd be silly not to. All right, Nez. From the 10 hole, as we alluded to, kind of tougher in Superflex when you don't lock up that premium one. So you got to dare the room a little bit. And we did dare them. We ended up with a 4-6-7-3 build. Reminder that you only start 2 running backs and 2 wide receivers in this format. So, the classic going heavy piss boy doesn't play quite as well. Deshaun Watson, JJ McCarthy, Derek Carr, Bo Nix. super mid QB room, but gives you some ceiling potential there. And I loved the quote in the chat from J Habs there that like 4 quarterbacks that are in the mid 20s equal 2 decent quarterbacks on a week to week basis. HN, Najee, Eckler, Marshawn Lloyd, CEH, Samaje Perine at the running back position. Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Keenan Allen, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Judy, Marvin Mims, A.T. Perry, David Njoku, Chig, Okongwu.
There you go.
Nailed it. I always butchered that one last year. And Tyler Conklin, for some reason, we probably should have passed on the Tyler Conklin one, made a running back selection there, and then done like the Greg Dulcich back stack. That probably would have felt better.
Yeah, I just wanted those 81 targets or whatever the hell he gets every single season out of Tyler Conklin there.
Yeah.
No, I like this team, man. I like this team a lot. Getting Justin Jefferson and Amon-Ra on the same team is like super, super awesome. Those guys are locked in wide receivers 1 and 2, and Keenan Allen there as well. I mean, like that's when you're only starting 2, I think that this is very much cromulent. I like the way this team is set up with stack options here, and I'm really glad that we got pick 10. Truly, because I'm glad that we had a chance to kind of push this format to its limits. And like, no joke, it makes me want to draft. Like, I'm going to do my 3 entries in this contest, and because like seeing that you can do things this way, to me, I think makes it like really fun. Like I think my stigma that I had with Superflex was you have to draft this way. You have to go quarterback with your first 3 picks. You have to do it. And it felt stale. Like this is a really fun way to attack Superflex, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Like, I just think when you're on that right-hand side of the board, I think it's just really important to be like, dare the room, because if you just try and go toe to toe with, the premium quarterback double tappers on the left side of the board by doing it on the right side of the board with like, I don't know, Jordan Love and Dak. Like, I just think you're putting yourself at such a disadvantage.
Yeah, you really are.
Cool, man. All right. Let's real time. Let's see what we got here.
You might be faring better than me, dude.
Why am I blanking? Live, daily, MLB.
Oh, there you go.
We're not
staying alive.
Great. Do we have anything that's actually live? We had a decent amount of Albies plus Ozuna. Maybe if Witt can find his way home. Nelson Velasquez. No, that's got. Nah, we're dead. We're drawing dead. We're drawing.
Call a spade a spade, John.
Yeah,
it's Jover.
It is Jover. Oh well. Maybe. Oh, here you go. Little Pirates action. Maybe the Pirates can get hot. No, we're drawing dead. Better luck next slate. All right, guys. Best of luck tonight in the MLB stuff. Do us a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe. If you're watching on the Twitter feed, jump on over to YouTube. It's like 1 click, and then just give us that thumbs up. It goes a long way for us. We, in tandem with the good people at Underdog, come out here and bring you content daily, in quotations, at least 4 days a week, Monday to Friday. We try and always do 5, and then special stuff behind the paywall there. So consider joining up, becoming a member, and you can throw your Mr. Good Boys in the chat as I rest my arm on him. Nez, any parting words for the people?
No, I will see you in these MLB lobbies, these pug lobbies. Enjoy ship chasing. It's ship chasing day, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So I'll see you in the ship chasing chat.
Sounds good, man. All right. On behalf of Nez, everybody's favorite time of the show, the end. Peace. Dude, look at it. He got so excited when I said the end.
He knows those words.
Up, he knows it's park time.
That's his favorite time of the show.
Oh, yeah, it actually is. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow behind the paywall. Peace.